joining us here on EndoTv. Let's Talk Period.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. And what you're doing is a national movement with period.org. Can you tell us a little bit about that for people who are not familiar with the organization, but absolutely need to be?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. So Period is a national organization that is youth fueled. We are made up of hundreds of youth-led Period chapters around the country and over 250 nonprofit partners. And our goal is to eradicate period poverty and period stigma through service, education, and advocacy. So the biggest ways we do that are direct product service. We give away millions of pieces of product a year, distribute them throughout the country. But we also do a lot of education campaigns. So young people that want to learn about how to destigmatize menstruation, they need to know about menstruation, right? What does it mean? What's normal? How do we talk about it really bravely and vulnerably as a real human issue? And then advocacy. So we work to help promote menstrual equity policies around the country. That can be anything from the national or state level, providing the grassroots support there, or it can be a local policy like getting period products in schools with more marginalized communities, or making sure that they are provided at shelters or at any other kind of government program on the local setting. We are youth fueled in the sense that we lean on youth activists in this movement. They are really excited about eradicating period poverty in their lifetime, and we know they can. So we provide them with things like micro grants to help do this work in their community. We provide policy and grassroots training to make sure they know how to do those community organizing things that they need to do to pass this in their communities. And we also give them networking and coalition building. So it's a really exciting national movement. We believe that this next generation of leaders will eradicate period poverty in this country in their lifetime. And it's our job to give them the resources they need to do it.
And we're hearing the phrase period poverty, but for those that are not familiar, what exactly is that definition?
Yeah, really good question. Well, period poverty is the experience of having to choose between menstrual supplies and other essential goods due to your economic circumstance. So not being able to afford or have access to the products that a menstruator needs to stay safe and healthy and live with dignity and participate in school and their life in the fullest way that they have, that's a challenge when finances are tight. When you're making decisions between hygiene supplies and other essential goods, that has pretty big ramifications. We have found that over 2/3 of young people in some cities either have experienced or know someone who has experienced a lack of access to school because they didn't have period products. So what does that mean for menstruators, right? Are they really not able to take part in their education as much as they would like? Are they not able to engage in sports or other activities to really live their full humanity? But it's even beyond that. We know that income inequality in this country is getting worse by the year. We know that more people are living in deep poverty. And so period poverty is something that comes along with all other kinds of poverty. It's really an intersectional issue. And so how do we bring it to light and say that we can't really accept this here? We can't accept that folks who are living in poverty are also not able to keep themselves clean and safe and healthy because of a natural need. It's a deep issue in the United States in a way that a lot of people don't realize.
It is a deep issue that has a lot of implications, like you said, missing school, being an active part of their community, the depression that it could lead to as well. There's so many side effects of it, and it's really important, the work that you're doing and discussing it. There's a partnership that's happened with Endo Found and your organization, Period Now, because pandemics don't stop periods. And like you said, there is this issue of period poverty where these menstrual products have to get out there, the menstrual hygiene products, and you're helping to make that happen. Can you explain that?
Yes, well, we were really excited to partner with Endo Found shortly after COVID hit. So we were contacted by Endo Found, who said, we need to put something together for New York City. We need to start helping New York City. We're starting Period Now. And so we were really excited to be a founding partner, providing lots of supplies to immediately New York and the surrounding areas. We sent pallets, hundreds of thousands of pieces of product to the New York area. And we're really excited that due to the partnerships that Endofound has with Senator Serino and some other local representatives there, we were able to get product not just to New York City, but to Poughkeepsie and to other areas in New York, to shelters and places that people really needed these products. So we were so excited to be the main partner of distribution for this partnership. You know, this partnership only needs to grow. Period Now only needs to grow. There is a deep need. As you said, periods don't stop for anything, let alone pandemics or poverty or storms or anything that might be thrown our way. And so we are really excited to continue this partnership, to keep sending product as much as humanly possible, as fast as we can get it on trucks over to the Period Now folks to get these products out. It's just been a total joy to be able to partner with people who understand the need for this program and who are willing to jump up and hustle and get the products out.
Thank you for that. And I know there's a lot of people watching right now that are thinking, I want to help. How do I volunteer? How do I offer something? How do I donate?
Thank you for asking that question. You know, the biggest thing we need for Period Now is products. So if you go to period.org and you go to our donate page, you are able to donate financially, but you're also able to click on something that says donate product. And on there, we have a wish list of the products that we most need. And being able to purchase those products and sending them to our fulfillment centers and warehouses will ensure that they get to the Period Now partnership even faster. So that is something that we need from everybody to be aware of. Something that we talk about at Period is kind of paying it forward. Every time we go through our own cycle, buy a box of tampons or pads for somebody else. That is something that is accessible for many menstruators and really goes a long way. Every time that you go through your cycle, there is someone else that needs it. So we highly recommend that. But beyond that, go to period.org and explore what we do. Since our founding in 2014, we've had well over 1,000 local Period chapters be founded. They are primarily youth run, but not exclusively, in communities all over the country. In any given month, we have about 500 Period chapters active in their communities, working to address period poverty on the ground where they live. Join us, learn about it, find out if there's a chapter near you or start one. And even if you don't have the capacity to start a chapter, learn about us and our partners and get involved in this issue. This is not just a women's rights issue. Not only women menstruate, and not all menstruators are women. You either are a menstruator or you came from a menstruator. This is an issue that everyone needs to be able to talk about and not be nervous about and not have any shame about. So please learn about what we do, learn about Period Now. Obviously, you already know about Endofound because you're watching this, which I love. But you know, period poverty is tied into things like endo and other uterine disorders because folks need more product when they have these types of disorders. And if they are suffering from income insecurity or poverty, that's doubly difficult for them.
And when you mention it's not a rights issue, right? This is basic human necessities. And the fact that anything is thought about as a right to me is just mind-blowing. Basic human necessities. Everyone deserves to have these menstrual hygiene products, to be clean, to live their best life. We should all owe each other that, like you said, paying it forward if you're able to.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, this is a question of essential goods, right? Mm-hmm. And so for lots of different reasons, period products are often not considered essential goods or overlooked when we think about the list of essential goods. And that really needs to end now. We need to understand that period products are on that basic list of essential goods where you're thinking about things that people need to stay safe and healthy and clean. We got to add that. And so that needs to happen in your schools, in your shelters, in your prisons, in your communities, but also in response to disasters. And when talking to your legislators about basic essential aid and goods, let's interject menstrual supplies into those conversations.
And I think that goes back to one of your missions with your organization, which is stop the stigma around menstruation.
I really do believe that this next generation of leaders is going to change the culture around menstruation. We already know that Gen Z especially is changing the culture for all of us right now.
Even the middle part is not cool, right?
That's right. Look, I'm very much an older millennial here with my side part. I think one of the things that we are watching them do is be able to talk about periods without that stigma and taboo. That is going to do wonders because when they get into decision-making positions, they're going to be able to talk about it as an essential good. We need to give them the resources they need now to make it happen sooner. People have been working on eradicating period poverty and working for menstrual equity for decades. We really stand on their shoulders. I believe that this next generation of leaders are going to be the ones that ultimately solve it, but we need people to get involved to support this work and to be able to talk about it, because you're right. If we suffer from the stigma and taboo, then this won't get solved, right? So we need to not only get the product out and talk about it as an essential good, but simply talk about it. That's one of the things that our chapters do. And I think that's why Period and young people in particular have a lot of opportunity to change culture, which is simply having this conversation, which can be uncomfortable.
Normalize it. If you were born with a uterus, chances are you get your period. No big deal. No more sneaking, hushing, being afraid of that being out there.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I cannot thank you enough for what you're doing. I'm so happy to be a part of the Period Now initiative. And again, for those watching, please, if you have time or product or the ability to somehow volunteer for a local chapter, please do so, because as a community, we can just eradicate so many issues all together if we just work as an army.
That's exactly right. If you believe in this, then join us, right? Join our newsletter, donate product, learn more about what we do, hear more about these partnerships like Period Now, and help us get products to any menstruator in need.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
See you soon.
You too.